We thank Hashem for these opportunities to have a son who's serving Hashem in the army, and we dedicate our learning to Baruch Yitzchak ben Moshe, Baruch Yitzchak ben Eliyahu Eliezer HaCohen, to all the Sfas, all the Heilige Kedoshim, Havli ben Chaim, and everyone should be gesund, everyone should be healthy, should be only weiter, Slacha. We're learning Parshat Tetzaveh, learning Taf Reish Samech, and we're going to get some chizuk in the idea of the importance of Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu. Also going to learn a little bit of the Balaturim, just to understand the Mesiras Nefesh of Moshe Rabbeinu, because we're going to bring it up in the Sfas Emmes. Sometimes it's important just to bring a little bit inside the Chumash. Yeah, I'm just going to say it over the Chumash. I mean, you can read it. It's a short little shtickle, famous thing. Adar Tetzaveh.
Adar Tetzaveh et bnei Yisrael v'yikach lecha shemen zayit zach.
Yeah. Lecha shemen zayit zach. Kasis ma'or
ha'olat ner tamid.
Yeah.
Right.
And it says in the Balaturim, Adar Tetzaveh. Balaturim was the father of the Rosh. Yeah.
Right. And he's always into Balaturim's into like gematrias and like.
Yeah. Mistaraf this parsha to another parsha. And Simonim, and it's very deep.
But he gets quoted a lot by the Hasidic Sfas.
That's exactly why we're learning Hasidus now, so we're going to quote the Balaturim, and it's going to fit perfectly in this.
Ve'ata Tetzaveh lo hazkir Moshe b'zeh haseder. What does that mean?
Moshe Cain.
So he says Moshe didn't recognize.
Moshe is not mentioned.
Moshe is not mentioned
in this Seder. Because it says, what does it say? We just read it. Va'ata. It doesn't say V'daber Moshe Leimor. It doesn't say V'yomer Moshe Leimor. It doesn't say any Moshe. It just says Va'ata. You. We don't know who you.
You. Moshe b'zeh Seder. Masha'ein Kain b'kol ha'chumash shema'aseh shenolad Moshe. Ein Seder Shelo Hazkiraba, meaning from the moment that he was born until this moment,
very good.
He's always been mentioned. Foods, Mishnah Torah.
There is some Mishnah Torah where his name's not mentioned, but we know that the whole Mishnah Torah is him anyway. Yeah.
Mishnah Torah is what they
Moshe
call
Shmot. Devarim. Mishnah Torah is a repetition.
Mishnah Torah. Right.
So there is because we know Mishnah Torah that he was him.
Right.
The last Chumash in the Sefer of the Torah was Moshe Rabbeinu himself saying over.
Exactly.
So there are some parshas that maybe don't say, but the point is that from the time he was born, like you said, Parsha Shmos, until the end of the Torah, there's always Moshe. Just this parsha, for some reason, we don't see his name, and it's not his. He's not saying it because the first four Svarim of the Chumash of Hashem himself, and Moshe's just writing it down. But the fifth one is coming from Moshe.
So he says, "V'ta'am mishum sha'amar."
This is in next week's parsha.
Right. The reason is because he says, "Mechani na misparecha."
Misifrecha asher kasafta.
Misifrecha asher kasafta.
Sorry, there's no nakudas over there. Before we say that,
so he says, "Mechanina misif."
Erase me. It's a famous concept. Erase me from your sefer which you wrote. Yeah, he's saying to Hashem, erase me. I'm willing to give up my life. If you don't forgive Am Yisrael,
right. It says like
I'm willing to be deleted, and that you have to understand what that means. To be deleted, to be erased, means for eternity. It means eternal fame, eternal glory. Netzach nesochim. It means goodbye.
Right.
He's willing to give everything, and he understands Moshe Rabbeinu, his das. He understands what he's giving up. He's willing to give up everything for the sake of Am Yisrael getting kapara. And when there's a curse of a wise person, a chacham like Moshe,
like so he says, a curse of a hacham,
it was made out
even
tonight,
when it's made out al tonight, still comes and is fulfilled in this.
Yes, it has to be fulfilled somehow or another. So once he said those words, even though it was very praiseworthy, Hashem has to fulfill it somewhere.
Right.
So this is another proof, by the way, that the Torah is not in order.
Because this is the Tanai, but he's coming back to figure out.
Yeah, and now we're seeing from the Balaturim that it was Mekayim when this Seder.
No, this Seder.
Yeah, this Parshat.
Because of Tetzaveh, the menorah.
This already is the end of this concept. So we'll just leave that concept. I'm just going to show you something deep. This is based on Chassidus. And this is good to know. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but in the end of the Chum of each Parsha, and not even at the end of each Sefer, and at the end of all the Sfarim of the Sfas, this year we don't have much even to think about it, but Kuf Aleph, yeah? Kuf Aleph is the 101 Pesukim. It gives you a number of how many Pesukim in each Parsha. So the amount on this Parsha is Kuf Aleph, 101. And what it does, it then brings a word that's going to be a so like a Simone Mil, so like a simon that is the same numerical value, that's going to have some panemius significance to the Parsha. It's going to have some deep reason why the end of a Parsha, like Parshat Tetzaveh, ends off with what? 101 Pesukim, and what's the simon?
It's Moshe Rabbeinu, right?
Well, not yet. Let's first see, what does it say? It says Michal. So the simon is Michal. Michal, if you add up the numerical value, Michal, Mem, Yud, Chaf, Lamed Aleph. You already guessed what I'm getting at. But
no, it's a famous thing. But okay, let's keep going.
The Michal is the hidden aspect of Moshe.
Who wrote this?
The
publisher puts this in?
No, this is an old Masorah.
Okay, fine.
That's brought down. I think it was a similar time as the Balaturim. Like maybe you have to ask a scholar, like your Rosh scholar. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think it's the end of like the Gaonim, beginning of the Rishonim. It's kind of that's that long ago. It's not like a new thing. The Simon are deep, and Michal is not whatever, because Michal is the Malach Rachman. Michal is the one who elevates all the neshamas, and he's the Malach you want for good things, Malach of Chesed. And we say Michal is Yamin. Remember that song we meant to say at the end when we go to bed?
Right, of course.
Yeah, Al Roshi. Yeah. Michal Yamin. Michal is the Malach, travels the quickest.
Right.
Yeah, it brought down in the Gemara Brachos. It's the Malach Rachman.
Correct.
So Chesed. So that's Michal. Now, if you take the hidden letters of Moshe, spell out Moshe. Mem. Yeah.
Okay.
Mem is 40. Spell out the next letter. Shin. Yud Nun. That's 60. 60 plus 40 is what? 100. And now this is a little bit dokek, but the Hey, if you spell out Hey, some spell it out with Aleph. Yeah? Not everyone. There is a Masorah to spell out Hey with an Aleph. Lechem Shalom. So the Aleph plus 100 is what? Gematria 101. Which is what? The numerical value of who? Of Michal.
So he says that's how you.
The hidden letters of Moshe is Michal. Okay. In the numerical value, this week's Parsha. So Moshe Rabbeinu is this week's Parsha. His panemius, his inner essence,
is hidden within it.
Is this Parsha. So when it says Va'ata Tetzaveh, it's actually the deepest essence of Moshe Rabbeinu's revealed. So even the so-called klala of Moshe Rabbeinu is still representing itself in the most panemius level, the inner aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu. So we're connecting into the inner aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now the question is going to be, did Moshe become the Kohen Gadol? No. Maybe for like 7 days when he built the Mishkan, but after that, Hakam Mishkan, no more. He was the Melech, he was the Rabbi, Moshe Rabbeinu, but he wasn't the Kohen Gadol. Who became the Kohen Gadol?
Aaron.
Yeah. So we see that it's interesting. If the essence of Moshe's name is in the Parsha where name doesn't feature, but he is referred to, but it's only the panemius of him, his very intimate version of Moshe, which is very interesting. So we're going to learn the Sfas Emmes, and hopefully we'll get a bit of clarity of this whole deep idea I just brought up.
Beautiful.
I think that it's good to know that it exists, and it does make sense because also whose yahrzeit is it around this time of year? Yeah, my wife's birthday is Zayin Adar. Moshe Rabbeinu was born Zayin Adar, and he's Nifta Zayin Adar after 120, which is Friday, was Erev Shabbos this year, which is still within the 3 days we're in now. And They say by Sadiq when you have a yahrzeit 3 days before, 3 days after. Now Sfardim, you're Sfardi, yeah? They don't hold the first Adar. They wait till the next Adar. So this would be they wait a month. But so therefore that's not so relevant according to the Sfardim, but it is relevant because usually most years Tetzaveh comes out as Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit.
The Ruach is still in there.
Yeah, it's that kind of energy, and it's the Parsha of Moshe.
And it's Yaakov's Aliyah anniversary.
Mazel tov. Okay, let's go to Midrash.
Okay, B'midrash. Lulei Toratecha.
He spoke very well, by the way.
So he says, B'midrash, Lulei Toratecha. He says the Lulei is like...
I'm so Ashkenazi, I can't, it's hard for me to hear it though. I'm like, Sorascha, what are you saying, Torasecha? But he's right, because you're Sfardi. So.
Toratecha?
Sorry, that's my Ashkenazi.
Lulei Toratecha is the name of the Midrash?
It's Midrash brings, in the Midrash, it brings a pasuk from Tehillim, Kuf Yud Tes. Lulei Sorascha. The famous part, sorry, that's just how I say it. Sorry. It's the Ashkenazi Zach. And it's a famous song that Hasidim sing. Lulei Sorascha Shashui. Very important pasuk.
Okay. Had not your Torah been my preoccupation.
And then read the rest. As
Vadati Be'enai.
Va'anai.
Right?
Yes.
I would have perished in my affliction.
Yeah, so literally the Torah, by being preoccupied in Torah, which is what we're doing now, Baruch Hashem, being preoccupied in Torah, I would have perished. The life's so difficult. How could I cope? My son being in Adar again. Gone back. The only way is Torah. I feel more rachamim towards people that don't have Torah and don't have learning to people that do, because I feel such mercy to them that they don't. How can they cope with it?
Right, anything to like find respite.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So he says, B'midrash Lulai Toratecha She'asui V'chulei.
And then it brings the last
part.
So he
says, B'midrash it speaks about the pasuk V'chulei Avadati Be'enai.
I would have been lost in my afflictions.
I would have been lost in my afflictions. She'amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe Hekrev Elecha V'chulei. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe, come close to you.
I'm close to you.
Right? Aharon.
Who is close to him? Yeah, who was close to Moshe? Not just Hashem, but Aaron, his friend. It's close. In a way, it's an interesting lashon. I don't really understand this lashon. I asked him. Yeah, I read Ra'alo. It means friend, but
friend. Yeah.
But it. I don't know. Like he's a brother. Like what?
Right, they're brothers.
And they're both Nevi'im, and they're both like the leaders of the Jewish people. It's hard for me to understand exactly, but I suppose what it shows that at the end of the day, I mean, it does say in Parshat Shmos that they kissed each other when they saw each other again. There obviously was a very deep connection between the two of them.
Right.
Halavai, all brothers should be like this. Shevet Achim Dam
Moshe Karav Aaron or Ra'alo, right? Your brother, come close to you. Omar Le says to him, Torah hayita li, unatata lecha, she'ulihi, hayita me'abed, olamei v'chulei. So it's riffing on the pasuk here.
Yes.
And he's saying, this is the Midrash speaking.
Right.
It says in the Midrash Amar Le that Moshe said to Aaron, Torah hayita li, like the Torah has been to me, or I have the Torah.
Yeah.
Natati lecha, and I'll give it to you. She'ilulehi, and it is a preoccupation. How are we translating that?
Sha'ulehi.
It said
no, that's
had
Shashui.
not. Oh, no. Okay.
Had not, yeah. Very good.
She'ulei, like had not. She'ulei, he had not. Hayiti me'abed olami. I would have lost
my world.
My world.
Because remember what we said before? We said that Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu said about himself, this is my own little connection. So the idea of the Balaturim, it's not stum that he said that Moshe Rabbeinu was willing to give himself up, and it manifested in this week's Parshat. And it's saying now in this Midrash and bringing it up that Moshe Rabbeinu, if it wasn't for the Torah, I would have been lost. Yeah. Now it's hard for us to understand that the biggest person of Torah in all of history can feel that way. But now we saw the Balaturim, it makes a bit more sense. Yeah.
Right.
Because he did say it.
Right.
And this parsha is when it's manifesting, and it's something to do with the Kohen Gadol who was his brother Aaron. So it's all in context.
It's all part of it, right?
Yeah. I just think I'm connected. And the Sfas didn't say this connection, but
right.
it helps me. It gives some context.
כי הייתי מעבד עולמי וכו'. פירוש, גם כי היה Moshe Rabbeinu gadol me'aharon. So the explanation is that even though Moshe was greater than his brother Aaron,
we know
Makom kahuna nitzmelu Aharon.
He, as great as he was,
the Kohanut was given to his brother Aharon. Shehu nivdal min ha'am.
Nivdal. So I was thinking about this a lot because I'm a Kohen. So I was thinking about do I have a certain Nivdal min ha'am? And I do feel that my journey has always been, as much as I always feel like I'm a Chevra man, try to be together with people, there's always been a certain nivda. Like, not because I'm higher or better or anything like that.
Yeah,
just a certain,
and
even like in davening, I have to make sure Shemon Esrei, I'm ready to leave and go. And
you have an extra price.
And the Halavai, when the Beis Hamikdash, I'll get to do that as well, that whole avoda, and it'll be more of a feeling of nivda. And also the idea that Kohanim, a lot of them are supported by Truma and Maisos and other things, and the Kabbanis. So it's a different mitzvahs. You have mishpachas that come in, they have their mishmeres, their different watches. It's going to be a different mitzvahs, and basically we'll see it much more.
Right.
But I've had it just in life generally. I've always felt like a bit like different. Maybe people feel that like that anyway. A lot of people feel very individual. It can be quite a common feeling that people have. They never really feel like totally conformed with Chili. Maybe that's also because I'm about tshuva, so that also comes together a little bit.
Sure.
It's hard to ever feel like you're really part of the from birth world.
Right.
But what of all these different factors, I do think there's something to it. And I spoke once with Rav Shlomo. I had a Shabbos by him, and I spoke to Shlomo Katz, who's also Kohen, the Rav, and I spoke to him about this. And I said maybe that's one of the reasons why the Rav is different to a lot of Rabbanim, that he's connected such unique tzaddikim. It's such a unique path, that he's connected to so many different tzaddikim. He's not just
Shlomo's different than other.
Yeah, he's very unique. And I appreciate. For me, it's a milah. I appreciate it. And that was my point to him, and he shook his head and said, "Maybe,
could be."
Nivdal
min ha'am. Kama shekatuv v'yivdal Aharon b'kuah. It says in the pasuk that Aaron was separated. Aval Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom, Shehu Sar HaTorah.
Famous concept.
He's the minister of Torah.
Said about Vada Yosef.
In Chaim Kanievsky, right?
Yes.
Shehu Sar HaTorah, Sarich Liyot Davok V'Kol Yisrael. So he's saying, but Moshe Rabbeinu, since he was kind of minister of Torah, just like a politician, Mahavdil has to be like really amongst the So to here, he had to be involved in amongst them.
Very good.
Davuch.
I like that lashon though. Davuch. You're learning this kind of stuff of Shlomo, no? From Rav Kook.
Yeah. And,
certain deep understandings of like what a role of a tzaddik, what the door needs. I've listened a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have, but he never said I can come in on the book. And I hear that you're learning these kind of concepts. The idea.
Davuch v'Kol lo chorish.
David, Kol Torah.
V'lechein lo horish Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom teiro lebanav. Therefore, he didn't have this horish's separation.
He didn't. Lechein lo horish means like a Yerusha. It's in a different. That's the shorish. Yeah, horish. That Moshe Rabbeinu did not inherit. He didn't give over. Like, how would you say that? It's the same lashon as inheritance, but it's now talking about his children.
He didn't bequeath.
Bequeath. Very good. Yeah, that's the word. He didn't bequeath Moshe Rabbeinu the kisrod to the banav. Yeah, that would be the correct one. Because inherit would be the children.
Right, because even if he wasn't, maybe you would say, Ephraim and Asher should have been.
So in his case, his sons were Eliezer and Gershon. We have it in Parshat.
Right.
Yisro.
Okay,
At the beginning of Parshat Yisro, it mentions his two sons. I think also in Shmos as well. Shmos and Yisro mentions two sons. those two sons, they don't inherit it because we don't. Someone said to me the other day, we don't really hear about them much, other than actually Gershom, his son, actually ended up doing Avodah Zarah. It's a famous story. And Eliezer, I heard that Eliezer became Eliezer Godel later on in Shas through Gilgulim. But we don't hear about him specifically becoming great.
Okay. Rak Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. So it says it's only in like a tradition, a handing down to the Kehilat Yaakov.
Yeah, inheritance. Now we can use the word inheritance.
You'd say
Marusha, yeah.
Right.
Or Russia. Kehilas Yaakov. It's an inheritance of the congregation of Yaakov.
Right, so it's here, it's a Yaakov, right? But Elu.
So that means everyone,
right?
Not just his kids. It's not like the Rebbes. The Rebbes give to the son, or the Rabbeinu Yosef gives to his son. Like it's beyond that. It goes to the people of Yaakov.
But Elu Hayagam Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom Nivdal. And it says like, and even though, or like, you're saying is a question.
Yeah.
So you're saying like, is it even that it was the case that Moshe Rabbeinu was separated?
Yeah, if let's just say if he was separated, yeah, that's what it's saying. Ilu Haigam Moshe Rabbeinu, but now let's just say also Moshe Rabbeinu was separated. But there was certain separation in terms of he was the Rav,
right?
Like he went and the whole thing with the mosque, and he went away he took away his oil, moved away from everyone. There was some sort of navdil, but even that was only because like Am Yisrael created that, not because he and in the end he never really was. It was just an act of because of our readers, and we couldn't able to sovel his light and where his nevuah. So he was separated in that reason, but he never just say if he was
the same, right?
Yeah, if he was, it wasn't like Aaron and Cohen. If he was separated, lo haya has shalom lanu tekuma. So it'd be a question. Am Yisrael would not be able to rise up. We'd be stuck in this Yerida that we had after the Egel Azab. He hasn't said it in this. I'm getting this feeling it's around this.
If he had been separated.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's another reason why he couldn't have been separated.
Yeah, we never would have risen up. We've been stuck. Because who's going to help us?
Aaron is the main microphone to the people. It's really Moshe that they feel the people are with.
Well, it's interesting because when Aaron and Cohen,
because you might think
when he passed away, everyone called their children Aaron, Beis Aaron. That's why we have this concept in the Halal, Beis Aaron. They all called their children Aaron. Right. They didn't call their children Moshe. You hardly see Moshe so much. A little bit in Shas, not so much.
Right.
Yeah, we don't really see the name going around. It's a more modern thing where we have like Moshe Bain, Moshe Feinstein, and Moshes later on. There's not so many Moshes in Shas or anything. There's loads of Aarons. I mean, in Shas, the truth is, there are many Aarons in Shas. That's interesting, actually, thinking about it. But based on the Rashi and the Chumash, there's loads of Aarons in Am Yisrael, based on the Rashi. And we see now there's loads of Aarons. The truth is now there's loads of Moshes also, so it's hard to say that. But the based on the Rashi, they were mourning more for Aaron because he had more of a connection with him. But there's something different. It's not about the connection. It's not the personality. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the connection, the sino for Torah. That was not Aaron. Even though, like you said, Aaron was the microphone, but he was not the makor. He was not the Rav. He was the one giving it over, like the one serving the Rav or whatever, giving over the Rav's Torah like a shliach. But he wasn't the Rav. Everyone knew that the Torah was coming through Moshe.
There's echt ze koach HaTorah l'tziv ba ikara mipnimim.
Yeah, so the way I understood that
so it says echt ze koach HaTorah, like however this is the strength of the Torah as it's written in it.
Yeah.
Basu ikara mipnimim.
Like precious
in
pearls. Yeah.
Mipninim are pearls.
Yeah. H.S.
Right. Yeah. So he says that it's written about it's precious pearls. Mimi shenichnas lifnei velifnim. So he says like for whom like enters in front of it and within it.
Yeah, the lifnei lifnim is the Kohen Gadol going into the Kodesh Kadoshim. Lifnei lifnim, the inner sanctums.
Shehi ma'amedet mekayemet kol ha'olam. This is like a status, like a status that establishes the whole world.
Yeah.
The whole world is.
And who does? I think who does that Miflaim Lifnim?
That's the Kohen Gadol.
Yeah.
That's
and that establishes the world. Yom Kippur. We need him to go do that.
The whole world rests on this
avoda.
Doing of this.
Yeah. But he has to be Hevdel. He separates himself. He has to be doing a certain holy avoda that only he does. Right. On the holiest of day in the holiest of places. He separates himself from Am Yisrael to go do that holy avoda, to save us all, to establish the world. And for this he comforted a Moshe.
He Avram Avinu because he says it's not possible for him to separate from Kol Yisrael.
Yeah.
V'lefi shemasar Moshe, and after he, that's Moshe Rabbeinu.
Oliver Shalom.
Why is it different than the other? We've been using a different Rosh Tevos the whole time.
We didn't really say for some reason. We just said Moshe Rabbeinu.
Look, we said up here Gam Rosh Rabbeinu Olav Shalom. Up here Gam Aval Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom. And here you're telling me. I'm with you.
It could be Moshe Rema Menuna.
It makes sense contextually.
The faithful shepherd. It could be that as well. It could be it's a faithful shepherd. Yeah, there could be. You're right. There could be enough community there. It could be it's referring to him as a faithful shepherd. Because that's another way of saying Moshe. He was a faithful shepherd.
Right now, Moshe. What are you calling it? The Roeh?
I don't know if that's the Rosh Tevos style. It doesn't make sense. It's not the right letters. I would say it's Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom.
Okay. Nafshu al Klal Yisrael. And because Moshe gave himself over,
it's Moshe Nefesh,
and he was Moshe Nefesh of Klal Yisrael. Shilem lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu liyot kocho nishar b'Klal Yisrael. Hashem paid him kivyachol in order by making him have the strength that remained in Klal Yisrael.
Right, and it would remain for all the Toras. It says as Reb Shem Yochai said. Yeah, the Torah will never be forgotten from your Zerah. Right. Torah is never going to be forgotten. It's something which is eternal. For Klal Yisrael, it's always going to be with us. We're seeing here, proving that now, 2024, 5784, end of days with a war going on. We haven't forgotten the Torah. We're still learning.
כמעט כל איש ישראל יש בו הארץ וניצוץ Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom.
Yes.
Again, it's weird because he goes from there. There's got to be something different.
Maybe. It could be Ryan and Munah. I can ask one of these Sadiqim here. I will.
Alright, let's see in a second. So he says, in Kol Yish Israel Yesh Bo Aretz, and each person in Israel has this certain sense of vision, a certain sense of spark of Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Or a certain appearance, rather. Ha'ara would be an appearance in this case.
I would always say light.
Certain light. Okay, fine. Certain light and spark. I like that. Light and spark of Liot of Moshe Rabbeinu.
I mean, that's a famous Zohar. It says the phase of the Zohar is Kol Dovador, or it says the Pashta de Moshe B'Kol Dovador. Moshe Rabbeinu spread out from all the generations. So what the Balatanya says, based on that Zohar, that Moshe Rabbeinu every year has a little tiny spark of Moshe inside of him. So Moshe connected to all of us. Kehilas Yaakov. And it says Morosh Kehilas Yaakov inherited the Torah. We also inherited Moshe because he's one with the Torah.
Right. Therefore, Hashem didn't give Moshe Rabbeinu the
so it's not Chesaron. So he's not in this parsha. We don't see his name.
Right.
But he's there on a Penimis level, and we know that he's the Torah that the Kohuna has. Because the Kesed Torah is always by us, by Moshe.
Ki a Kohen sarich liyot nivdal, because a Kohen has to be separated.
Yeah, this is a good proof what I was saying to Shlomo. We are a little bit different for whatever reason. We have to keep ourselves navdal for our avoda.
V'chein amru Chazal, Keter Kahuna, Zoche Aharon, Unatlu.
He took it.
Right? And he says that this is what Hazal says, that the Keter Kahuna, that the crown of Kohanut, Zoche Aharon Unatlu. He merited it and then he took it. Keter Malchut, Zoche David, the crown of kingship was David was merited such a thing.
Thanks, David. Yeah.
Keter Torah, Monach, L'Kol Ish Yisrael. But he says with the Keter of Torah was placed upon each person in Israel. Meaning,
so
it's like in Moshe's spoot that we don't say Keter Torah, not like Zoche Moshe. Like that would have been the easy thing to say. Yeah. It's actually greater in a certain sense that the Keter Torah is Monach on Kol Ish Yisrael.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is that Aaron wanted that for Klal Yisrael also, and I'm sure David also.
Yeah.
Because this is the Tehillim from David. Lulei Surascha Shashua. David and Melech understood this as well. Right. They all understood it. It's just Moshe Rabbeinu was the one to be the senior for the Torah. Right. That was his focus for Klal Yisrael, to all the Doris, to makabel the Torah. He was the one who was meritorious to be the one panim al panim, the daber boy, to speak to Hashem face to face and to bring down the Torah for us. And even though we said before, like he went so far to be most nefesh himself in his ability for our sake, and it had to be Mekayim a little bit that klala that he didn't exist in the Parsha. But Basov is still Toras Moshe, even the Parsha. His name's not there, but it's still Toras Moshe. And then we showed from the Simon, his Penimis is there. The Penimis of Moshe, of Michal, is there. The inner essence of Moshe is in the Parsha. The fact that it's 101 Pesukim, plus the fact that, I have a very deep feeling that every time you see Aaron, you see Moshe. Every time you see Moshe, you see Aaron. They're together. So there's no chesaron really. Shevet Achim gam yachad. They're brothers.
Kind of like one took care of one side, one took care of the other side.
They're together. You need both of them.
Right. Beautiful.
And it's this beautiful vision of Klal Yisrael, how much we all mash them each other. Not everyone's going to be Rav Chaim Kanievsky, but there is going to be an Aaron HaCohen, whoever that might be, a Mashkiach, somebody takes care of the Kehillah, whatever, the Shlomo.
It's going to be, right?
Yeah.
In different pieces. Yeah. Wow, beautiful.
Chavetz Chaim was a Kohen, yeah? There'll be other kinds of Kohanim.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kohanim out there.
He could have been a Kohen Gadol, Chavetz Chaim. We've got a bit more time, I see,
You want to read? That was the two pieces you wanted to see?
No, there was one. There's one more. It's a bit earlier.
Okay, let's see it.
I just thought it.
We can finish it tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting. It's not so big.
Yeah, no problem.
I chose two small ones.
Which one?
Yeah. I didn't prepare this one so much. So you're gonna help me on it. Taf Reish Nun, yeah.
Okay. The Midrash.
So this is 10 years earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think. He was living all these years ago. It was how many? 134 years ago when this was said in Warsaw. He was saying over Shalas Sudas Torah, and his Talmidim wrote it down, and he eventually put it all together into a sefer. Could be even his own family wrote it down. I don't know.
Okay, the Midrash Zayit Ranan, Refuway.
Yeah, it's right here, Zayit Ranan.
Ba'in Amot. והובסין וכולי בצר לך באחרית הימים וכולי באחרית הימים וכולי. So we take to the Midrash, Zayit Ranan is the name of Midrash, or this is a pasuk?
I think it might be
Zayit Ranan וכולי Ba'in Amot comes these nations, V'hovtin וכולי, and they're like, what's Hovtin? It's like, Chov is like an obligation, right?
No, but Hovtin is something else. Let me look on the translation.
It will be like a pain, like you'll have sorrows at the end of days.
Right.
Hem netzitzot shemavririn b'nei Yisrael ha'or mitoch ha'choshech b'yamei ha'galut. He says like these are the sparks that are mavririn b'nei Yisrael, that are mavririn is
it's funny, it translates as batsman. I suppose it means they're like the umas and hit. They're like hitting. Choptin.
Omot Behovtim.
Something like that. Oh wait a minute, I left out a yud. Let's see if that makes a difference.
The sliding scale of levels of class. They need per
Chovtim. What do you mean chovtim? Hitters, yeah. Banging.
What are you calling it?
To hit. To thump. That's what the goyim do.
Makes sense, yeah.
Come beat us up. You ever got beaten up by a goy?
No, thank God.
I did. I had my teeth smashed out.
Really?
Yeah, I got beaten. I always grew up in London. London's tough.
Before you became from?
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Never, did it happen to me since I've been from? I had my hat hit a few times when I was in London. Like people would smash my hat. Nothing serious, but
London's brutal.
London's more rough. So, but I remember getting beaten up. Like one time it was this little gypsy started beating me up in a bus. Another time it was another kind of gypsy from a council estate, but he was friendly with all these hard other like coloured kids, and they literally just came and just they held bricks to keep off my boys, and they let this one guy just punch into me, and then I was friendly with some really tough kids who then beat them all up. I got them all beaten up, and then I saw them again later. I had to do a runner from them because I was by myself. So it was that kind of, it wasn't gang, but it was getting borderline that kind of lifestyle, and yeah, I had some pretty crazy times. I had a bunch of times I got smashed in the face. Probably about 5 times, I reckon. I got hit pretty bad. Like one of them, my teeth came out. Thank God they were still my younger teeth, so I didn't.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was as I was growing up in London, the streets. It pushed. What it did is I came out with this question. This is the relevance of it. I came out with the question and I said, "What is the difference between me? Why did he choose me, and not all the other boys that were there? Why was I the one picked out again and again and again?" I've got story after story. Even there was this one guy who was brought up Jewish, but he was actually adopted. He was a non-Jew. He ended up having this massive drinking problem, and he ended up beating me up one time, and all my friends came and stopped him because thank God I had good friends. And not so long ago, actually 10 years ago, the same guy came to a wedding. More than that, must have been 14 years ago. Came to a wedding I was at in Tel Aviv. It was in Herzliya actually, beautiful wedding. We're on the bus back. The same guy was drunk. This is years afterwards. Started trying to start me again. So I felt like maybe he's not Jewish and he just hates Jews. And I'm the most Jewish of my friends, and that's by that point. So he just started starting me. And so thank God one of my tough friends like pushed him off. And he has a real serious drinking problem, that guy. But he a few times he tried. So I've had a few times I've been beaten up by the nations, literally.
Wow.
And it's not a nice feeling.
But it pushes you to recognize, like, I have something unique
Jewish,
in you.
something Jewish. And that was the question I kept coming up with. Why am I different? Why am I half the Nivdil? Why am I different?
What's the Nivdil?
But not Nivdil from Am Yisrael, Nivdil from the nations.
So he says,
So this is what it does. This is going to explain. Like happened to me. Yeah. There we go. This is very important words. If you're going to learn with Rav Shlomo, this is one of the most important words. If you especially come Shabbos morning to his shir and May Shalach, is mavarin is bora, like to clarify, to mavareh, yeah, to clarify. Hayim nitzosis, that would clarify. Mevarin is a very important word. Like you have the whole malach of boire, when you separate something from solis from ochel, or ochel from solis on Shabbos, it's called hilchas boire. But Shabbos you're not allowed to do boire. Shabbos everything is sorted out. It's only during the week you do boire.
So he says these are the sparks.
These nations are beating us up and causing sar to us end of days. This is clarifying. Like it did for me, literally. It beat me into realizing I'm a Jew and I'm not like these other people.
During the days of
exactly what happened. I could thank every one of those goyim for waking me up. Every punch was worth it. Brought me one step closer to Hashem.
Moshe Rabbeinu Avashalom Ne'emar V'ata Tetzaveh v'chulei. So he says, and therefore he says by Moshe Rabbeinu that V'ata Tetzaveh v'chulei.
Yeah.
Shemen Zait Zach Shehu Nekuda Berura Bleep Soled. He says that, and then he includes at the end of the pasuk there, says he has to bring.
Remember the pasuk we read it?
Right. Says at the end of the pasuk says he has to bring Shemen Zait for them to light the lamp.
Yeah.
It has to be Zach, which is like pure, right? Which
Very
is
good.
just like the first press, right? Nothing only the first press, like the purest like quality, right?
Very good. Shininakuda brewer, clear point,
Psolas.
without any mixing up of psolas is like the
impure.
It's not the impure. It's more like the
Pulp.
yeah. It's like the excess.
Yeah.
Not the pure oil. The other part of the oil of the olives.
Siv lemaor megar garo v'rosh hazayit.
Yeah, this is a hard word. I mean, actually, I already looked
It's
it up.
written
I know what it is.
lemaor
Yeah.
megar garo.
Gargara is like the seed, like grain kind of word.
like
Seed, grain. It's from that top part that's where the pure oil comes.
So he says
And
it's
the kuda,
written
the rosh
to
hazayit.
lighten the seed of the
Do you see that on the side? I didn't really get
type
this.
of a zayit.
When you look at olive, do you see it like coming out this pure like part? I don't know. The top. Are you into zaytim? I don't
Not
know.
really, I don't know that well too much.
There are people who are really into them, and some people even squeeze them to get oil. I mean, back in the day, it was like a mitzias, you know.
Right, that was a big deal.
When I lived in Beitar, there was loads and loads of olive trees, and you see the Arabs all day working those farms, and they pick the olives, and then they go make shemen zayit. It's a big deal. Right next to Mamish, like you could see them, like they're like outside in your field. They're like your garden. They're like out there working the fields because it's their land. That's how close it all is. That's why they had a lot of trouble when the war started with the security. Because it's so on top of each other.
V'chein hu b'seder hadorot hidorot shel Moshe Rabbeinu haya b'rosh hazayit.
Very nice. That's beautiful.
Le'alot ner tamid.
It's beautiful
So
concept
this is also the order
of the generations.
of the generations.
Kidorish.
Shel Moshe Rabbeinu
Yeah.
Shalom, because
As
the
we all know.
generation of Moshe Rabbeinu Shalom haya b'rosh hazayit.
Yeah, it's like taking the zayit as a moshel
It
for the
was like
generations.
ilu like this rosh of the zayit.
Yeah, that pure, refined, hachana, la'alis, ner, tamid. It was all the preparation to light up this eternal light. It was a pure light, pure olive, the best oil. That's the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. Everything was fresh and pure. It was preparation.
It was this preparation to
Light
raise
up
to
this
light
eternal
up,
flame.
right?
Their tamid, which is eternal light. It never went out. Yeah? Purest oils. Our generation, at the end of days. Yeah, our generation.
This is where the oil that's swirling around.
Yeah, I grew up like a goy,
excess.
honestly. I thought life was about making money and women, and that's what I really thought, you can't blame me. No one taught me otherwise. Maybe I had a little bit of values from my parents, thank God. A little bit of Jewish herring here and there, and a little bit of l'chaim, but I wasn't like bagels and stuff. But it wasn't Torah. It was missing the most important part, the Torah.
Get the ideas.
It was all mixed up. The base elu.
And these two, hem b'chinat yamei ha'ma'aseh. Shehu levarer ochel mitoch psolas.
There we go. We're learning how to spoil.
He says these two, hem b'chinat, like these.
This is the
what are
aspect
these
of
two? These
the
two
weekdays.
Meaning the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu and the generation of us.
Yeah.
So he's saying these two generations. Eluhem b'chinat yamei ha'ma'aseh.
I think our generation is the 6 days. We're busy getting the ochel out of the solas. Yeah, we've got to do a lot of birurim. We've got to clarify
We're
a
the
lot.
ones who are clarifying the food amongst
Yeah, it's a lot of work, Adar. We've got to clarify.
Shabbat lo ne'amar vayehi erev. And on Shabbat we don't say
The Erev, and it would be night.
it will be night.
Why?
Shemen zach.
Yeah, there's no, by Chassidim, I grew up, remember, I was many years by the Chassidim. When the last, say from 18 onwards, I was out of that non-Jewish world, and I was totally in the Yeshivish world first, and then the Chassidish world. And I was in the Chassidish world, they don't actually use the word good night on Shabbos. They say good Shabbos. They don't say good night. No Shabbos. They never call the Shabbos night, because the Shabbos is lichtig. The Shabbos is light.
So he says Ne'emar vayehi erev. So lo ne'emar
There's no
vayehi
Erev night on Shabbos. Shabbos is always kula or. There's no Erev. There's no mixing up. There's no night. Shabbos. Erev is lashon mix. Or is orev, yeah, it's mixed up.
So he says Shehu seven zach l'ma'or. Like the whole Shabbos is like
It's
pure
pure
light.
oil.
So it's pure light.
That's like the door of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the two aspects. We're the door where we've got to get the ochel from the psolas and get rid of the psolas. We're the weekday. Their door was like a Shabbos generation. Remember, they didn't work. They were just living off the man and on their COVID. It was good times, like Shabbos the whole time.
K'mash katuv ein dome me'or panav shel adam b'Shabbat leyamei chol.
This is very Chassidic concept.
This is what's written when we say
even though it's based on
it's
Chazal.
not similar. The light of someone's face, the light of a person's face on Shabbos, is not similar at all to the light on their face on the weekday.
That's why the Chassidim are very strict to go see their Rebbe, not just Yom Tov, but even Shabbos as well, because you see the panim of
a different shine.
Yeah, it's a shine, and I've seen it. It's real. It's a real shine. They have a light on their face.
He says this is the preparation to
light up all the days of the week.
All the days of the week.
Of action, the days of action. This fact that there's this pure light on Shabbos.
The pure light on Shabbos prepares us.
Yeah, the Shabbos and the face of Shabbos lights up all the days of the week. Gives us,
meaning it's nimshach, like from
my son,
Shabbos all the way.
My son this Shabbos quoted the Ben Ish Chai, and it's a beautiful concept. That if you the Ben Ish Chai, and if you learn much, Ben Ish Chai it's kedai. If you, I don't know if you're from Baghdad or wherever you're not.
Spain,
but a lot of the Gedolim, a lot of Rabbonim throughout the world in the Sfas world, Makabah from the Ben Ish Chai, and even Ashkenazim. But I learned a lot of Ben Ish Chai. I love his Svarim Ben Inyahu and all the Yada, beautiful Svarim and Shas, beautiful Svarim on Halacha, beautiful Svarim on Chumash. I'm a big fan of Ben Ish Chai. I used to walk around with it all the time. So especially I used to learn with Svadi Bach and Ben Ish Chai. I'd learn with the Ashkenazim Tanya and the Svardim Ben Ish Chai or Chavas Tamidim. But the Svardim I'd learn Ben Ish Chai. So it says in the Ben Ish Chai on this week's Parsha, I think, it says the three branches, or last week's Parsha or this week's? I think it's last week's Parsha, because we had the Menorah more, even though it talks about it this week, it's last week's Parsha, Parsha Truma. It says the three branches of before are connected the 3 days before Shabbos, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is Ma'aser, Dibur, Machshava, and Shabbos is the Neshama, is like the light, the middle branch of the menorah, and they're all facing towards that, and then comes after Shabbos, the 3 days after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's connected going back down, Machshava, Dibur, Ma'aser. So the whole week you're going up to Shabbos.
And then the Shabbos light sort of trickles into the next part of the week.
Yeah, so you're never really out of Shabbos.
Before you know it, you're preparing for
You're just
Shabbos
now
again.
in a lower revelation of Shabbos. What's the lower revelation? Where you go from Machshava to Dibur to Ma'aser, these are levels lower, till you get to Ma'aser, which is Tuesday. You're already further away from Shabbos. But Baruch Hashem comes Wednesday, and we're already counting back up to Shabbos. This is brought down by Ben Ish Chai. Beautiful.
This is a preparation that enlightens the whole days of the week.
Yeah.
Ube midrash lamaseh yadecha tichsof.
Yeah.
It says in the midrash that the lamaseh yadecha tichsof, the actions of your hands,
you shall desire. Like Ksof is desired. We say it in Yedid Nefesh.
Okay.
Niksof, Niksafti. Yeah.
Hashem desires
He wants our hand,
work of
Ma'aseh.
your hands.
He wants the Yemei Ma'aseh. He likes it with doing Ma'aseh mitzvahs.
Ha'inyan hu ki kol ha'mitzvot hem kelim l'taken komat ha'adam.
Yeah.
It says the matter of play here is that all of the mitzvot are vessels
Very
to
good.
fix the kumata adam.
Yeah, you really like a whole nother level. Every week it's better and better.
What's
Kumas Adam, like
the foundation?
No, like Kumas Shalem, like it's the complete Adam.
Kumata Madina is like the rising, like the establishment, right?
Yeah, the full like body, like the full upright body. Like the whole of man. Kumas Adam.
Right? So it says that this is Anyanhu Kikor Mitzvot.
Like Kumas Shlema, we say, by Adam Rishon. Adam Kadma.
Reish Mem Ches.
Yes, the Ramach, 248 mitzvahs, positive mitzvahs. The Shasa is 365 negative mitzvahs. Leois These are the kli lekabel boy ares and neshama shumaisi adav shel Kodesh Baruch Hu.
להיות כלי לקבל בו הארת הנשמה. This is the kli to receive the light of the neshama. Shehu maaseh yadav shel Kodesh Baruch Hu. This is the actions of the hands of Kodesh Baruch Hu. כדכתיב uneshamot ani asiti.
Yeah. Beautiful pasuk.
Uneshamot ani asiti, like
and I made
souls
them.
and I made them. והנשמה היא דבקה באלוקות, שאדם זוכה כראוי, כמה שכתוב, תקרא ואנוכי אענך. Right? So he says, Neshama hi devayka be'elokus, that the soul is connected, close, drawn close to godliness. She'adam zocheh kere'ui, when a person merits in an appropriate manner.
Very nice.
To fulfill k'ma shekatuv, as it says, tikra ve'anochi e'anecha, like call out and I will answer you.
Yeah, because you're neshamadik.
Because you have a neshama that's
and
guiding.
So you can be davik to Elikus.
This is the purpose of the mitzvahs.
Building these kalim so you can be davik to Hashem, the neshama, and have a place to come to, and Hashem will answer you.
כמה שכתוב, אשר יעשה אותם האדם וחי בהם.
Yeah, Hashem wants us to live in them.
He says this is the purpose of the mitzvahs, because we say in the pasuk, Asher yaseh otam ha'adam, that a person will do them.
Yeah.
V'hai b'hem, you live with them.
Yeah, he wants us to live and do the mitzvahs. That's it.
Shezoche
There's no chesorin of our generation. We're doing a lot of mitzvahs. We're fixing up a lot of pasolas. We're getting rid of it and bringing out the ochel, bringing out the good oil from the darkness, the light from the choshech.
100%. We're merit this soul to be the ruach chaim, or Torah, the light of Torah.
Yes, it comes together with the light of Torah.
This is the soul that is the head of the pure oil. Right?
So we can get back to that through all that efforts with the mitzvahs that we're busy with in the weekday. We can connect ourselves back to this Dora Dea, this Moshe Rabbeinu, this pure light that seems to be from way before, but we constantly connect ourselves back to it through Shabbos, through all the work we do, the Sheish Me'er Ma'aseh and the mitzvahs. It gives us the kalim to receive that light of the neshama. That's going to fix up this door. We're like the end of the body, the lowest level. We're fixing it up.
Via the hands of the Ner mitzvah, of the candle mitzvah.
Tikkun aguf, fixing up the goof.
Meaning, we merit this via the hands of, I don't understand, what's the Ner mitzvah that we're...
Yeah, Ner mitzvah Torah.
The lighting of the menorah?
Yeah, the fact that we have, through doing the mitzvahs, through doing the work of the Maaseh, we come to become kalim for the Torah or. And so the Ner mitzvah is fixing up the goof to be able to be roy, like we said above, for the light of the Shabbos, the light of the Torah. Yeah.
So he says, Mi she'oseh mitzvah ki'ilu madlik ner
Machai nafsho. Gives life to his soul. So by doing mitzvahs, those who do mitzvahs, it's as if it's ki'ilu, like you lit the ner of the menorah. That means machai the nafsho.
We have the midrash. It says, "Misha se mitzvah." A person who does a mitzvah.
Yeah.
Ke'ilu madlik ner u'mechayei nafsho b'chulei, and gives light to his soul.
And that's a much better way than getting beaten up by some guy in the park.
Right. So like the mitzvah, it's like
they're like beating us up to get out those little sparks of light inside of us. Much better, we do it through the mitzvah. Let's connect
Easier to entertain the Chabad guy, wrap the tefillin, than to take the knock in the face.
Yeah,
but
and that's what's happening now.
Hashem's going to do
my
whatever
son
he needs to do.
No, but my son told me, I've got pictures on my computer, like downloaded for my son, of all these soldiers that come from the most seemingly smaller name, whatever it means, homes, and they're putting on tefillin out there. They're davening, they're praying. One of the boys there, his father's like higher up in the army. I'm standing next to him just last night, I shook his hand. I was standing with him. I've even got a picture of him, I think, on my phone, because my daughter took a picture. I have loads of pictures of him, but I'll show you. And his father's a commander, and he's standing with this bald-headed guy next to me with like the beard and the payers and the tzitzis, and we're all together, we're all working together to help Amiswan, the actors, the energy. They weren't interested. My son was not interested in the barbecue, the DJs. None of them were. All they wanted to do was see each other so together. They're so ba'achtas. And we were all the way down there, Okefaza, that this boy. Oh no, it wasn't this boy. If there's a picture of him. I think my daughter had a picture of him. I remember. Oh yeah, here he is. This guy. And he makes a charcoal. His father's like a big guy in the army. Higher up. He was standing there. You can't see him in the picture, his father, but little bald-headed like army guy. You know, connection me and him. But like the reality is, both our sons are together, and he's got to the point where he's so lit up from being in the army, being around my son and other people like that. He's starting to make brachas. And he gets on the bus and he says a loud, sharp call, and like there's an energy going on in the place.
Everything is food.
Yeah, and that's what these mitzvahs, the beating up, unfortunately stimulated it. But the real point was to get out the good oil, to purify us, to mavir everything, to bring out the light of the neshama. It's a beautiful line.
Will you send me a PayPal link for your PayPal?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah, that works fine.
Okay, beautiful.
It's going to mitzvahs. Only blessings. Always blessings. Amen.